I'm Chris, and I'm going to do a lightning talk on Dolby Atmos in-game audio. So you've probably all experienced Dolby Atmos in the cinema. It's been around since about 2012, and in gaming, Star Wars Battlefront, the 2015 version. If you have a look at Dolby's mission, they say that they want to give consumers a premium entertainment experience regardless of how or where they choose to enjoy it. That really matches what gaming is for people as well. So if you're not considering game audio the same as you're considering all the other aspects of your game, then I suggest you might want to ask yourself, how can you support the overall expression and mood of your game with spatial audio, or with any audio really? There's a couple of things I talk about as a producer where I say, try and immerse the player in the environment. And that might be whether it's cars, or it might be landscapes, or it might be just the music, or it might be a particular facility that they're in. You might want to recreate the actual sonic landscape. We play games, we all play games, so we know when people get this right. They've actually sat down and mapped these things out. They've sat on a mountain and written down everything they can hear around them. They've sat by a lake and written down everything in every direction that they can hear around them. They've sat in a car in the middle of traffic and planned where they can hear different things coming around them. And we're trying to still, as soundies, deliver the core promise to the gamer, which might be escapism, or it might be interstellar travel, or it might be the thrill of a hunt, or it might be just, FPS COD stuff, just murdering people in, I don't know, North America or something. So some standard Atmos applications you've probably experienced: sports, spatial locating of a ball. You can hear it whizzing from behind your head across you, or in basketball. Crowds in surround sound. Now we add height up in stadiums, so you hear different cheering from different levels of the stadium above you. Racing, spatial location of cars up and down hills, and the sound changing, not just adding reverb when you go through a tunnel, but the shape of the tunnel, or a canyon where you'll get more reflections from the sides and nothing from above. That's different to just adding a standard reverb on this. FPS, we've all experienced in the last few years, the accurate location of where the enemy is, not just around us, but in distance. That's another aspect of spatial audio. ARPGs, atmospherics. Rain does not sound the same from every direction, does it? It hits different surfaces at different heights. And music, of course, percussion and melody. You can have different aspects coming from different around you. I've got different spots around you. I've got one technical slide. Very briefly, how does the brain work in the world? Well, we determine the location with 2 ears by 3 things. One is by time. It takes shorter distance to get a sound from here to this ear than it does to this ear. It also is in amplitude. It's louder on this ear than it is on this ear. And the third one is for height. It hits different parts of your ear and your skull and the shape of your mouth and your head. And between those 3 things, we call it a head-related transfer function, where the brain, in fractions of a millisecond, works out where that sound is through those 3 things: how far away, which ear it hit first, and what the shape of your nose was. So that's how Dolby have decided to encode spatial audio. You give it that object, which is a bird tweeting or a gun firing, and you tell the code where you want that sound to be, and then it filters the sound, adds a bit of time delay from each side, and they can recreate that HRTF in a stereo binaural sense with just a set of headphones. Almost all consumer devices are built for this playback, which is the big difference between this and 7.1 or 5.1. You don't need speakers. This is how we can do it binaurally with a set of headphones, which is where we get immersive audio. Strap on a set of headphones and you're in the game. I've got a couple of other bits that are technical. You can still run all your Dolby Atmos stuff separate to your regular 2.0 channels, so your UI stuff, or your game chat, or your voice chat, or standard things that you don't want moving around as you play. Wrapping up, I've got a couple of places to go if you're interested in more information. Games.dolby.com is an outstanding resource. Both Fmod and Wise have extensive information on their sites about this, and there's plugins for Unreal and I think Unity just earlier this year. If you've got your cameras and you're interested in this, is a fantastic talk by someone from Dolby who's been doing games since Need for Speed in the 90s. That's a fantastic presentation. It's about half an hour on YouTube. Dolby's games documentation, that's that one. Dolby and Fmod, if you're interested in Fmod. I have Fmod's info, Dolby and Wise, and Wise's info. All of these QR codes will take you straight to those sites for those places where you can read a little bit more, and it has all the information about how to actually run these as applications within your software. Whatever you're using, they've already built it in there. So it's not actually a difficult thing to do, it's just getting your head around it, no pun intended. That's my QR code, that'll take you to my website, or hit me up in the chat in the break and we can talk a bit more. Thanks very much.